My name is Stan Zimmerman, and I lost my very close friend Kevin Gill actually 10 years ago. It was spoken about. People had to know, so I said I would take on, if anybody had any questions, they could call me, not realizing at the time that with every phone call, I would have to relive his death. One Sunday afternoon, a friend of Kevin's called me very irate and started yelling at me that Kevin was a very private person and he never would have wanted any of these details out there. So it really made me feel bad that I had divulged that information. And then I got to thinking, why am I feeling bad about it? And I realized that there's so much shame around this topic. And that's what made me think, what could I do as an artist to help combat that shame? I thought of the idea of doing a play like Vagina Monologues with actors sitting on stools reading real suicide notes. Because I was not able to get his note, I decided to start Googling suicide notes and hoping I'd find the answers in the notes that I would read. But every time I started reading the notes, I would just become overwhelmed with emotion. And then the Hollywood Fringe Festival was coming up, and I thought, here's a great opportunity to see if I have something here. That's why I went public with it. And at the beginning, it was the notes and hard facts that I found online about uh, what kind of people leave notes, what kind of people attempt suicide, how many go through with it, how many veterans, LGBTQ, all of those subjects. And it was very intense and very moving for a lot of people. And that's when I knew I had touched a chord and it was important to talk about. A lot of friends my age were scared to bring their kids to it. And then when they did bring their teenage kids, the kids just couldn't stop talking about it. And we would all be on the sidewalk after the play having these long hour conversations. So I knew I had to continue the conversation. Also, at the end of the play, I got up and asked how many people in the audience have been touched by suicide. And like 90% of the people raised their hand. And I don't think people realize that.
Mhm.
And they would look around like, oh my God, we're all in this together. And so I knew we had to keep sharing. Then the director, Michael Wilson, suggested for me to put my story with Kevin in the play because when I talked about it, obviously as a comedy writer, I'm going to bring humor, but he said I also bring humanity to the piece. And I was afraid to open my heart, to be honest. But I knew this subject, and Kevin was guiding me to tell the story, tell our story. We sat down to read it out loud, and I got to the part where I had to say his name the first time, and it got stuck right here. And I knew if I said the words, said the word, his name, I would just be a puddle of tears. And all the actors are holding my hand, you can do it. And I got it out, and of course, my glass is filled with tears. And it happens almost every time I do the play. It's still to this day, so many years later. I find it an honor to do the play. It People always ask me after, like, "Are you okay to do this?" And I have to do it. When I get emails from people that say, "I brought my son to the play 6 years ago, and I think you saved his life by being there." It opened. One person wrote this, and I guess their son was so moved by seeing this play that they wrote a whole album, a music album, um, talking about their issues with it after seeing how I used art to create change. So I'm all about now art and advocacy. It is helping process it, giving me and Kevin power to that situation rather than just being something so heavy and so sad. It is empowering.